Are your biggest life dreams slipping away? On July 13th, 2022, I made the rookie mistake of telling my dad that I am writing a book. The problem is that beyond my master's thesis, I hadn't written anything of any significance. But I knew from the science of growth mindsets that if I just tell myself, I love a challenge, I have a decent chance of making this dream come true. And yes, this meant that both mom and dad inevitably asked about progress every week. The biggest lesson that I learned was to schedule my dopamine appropriately. While sharing about my book gave me immense pleasure, I was not prepared for the pain that came alongside it. Yes, pain. The molecule dopamine is often known as the molecule of pleasure, but it is also released in anticipation of something exciting or some pleasure coming our way, which evolves into a form of craving for more and more, and this morphs into pain. Try this experiment with a treat that you enjoy. For me, it's dark chocolate. Take a tiny piece of dark chocolate and drop it into your mouth. As it melts, allow yourself to feel all the pleasure from this sensation. And pay careful attention. You will notice a craving for another piece. So allow yourself to have another piece, and another piece, and another piece. You will notice your pleasure starts diminishing piece by piece, but the level of pain remains the same. Eventually, pain prevails when I finish this block of dark chocolate, and I will have a dopamine crash. Here's the key takeaway. Introduce tiny rewards in pursuit of the goal, and you will start to enjoy the process. When I started sharing about my book, my dopamine level spiked, which eventually crashed, and in no way did this help me write my book. So I decided that every week that I showed up to write my book, that I would treat myself to a coffee or an almond croissant. Adding novelty along the way keeps things fresh and exciting for the dopamine system. The second lesson that I learned was unlearning my mental models, including some of the mental models I just learned. Your brain has the capacity to change its own wiring as a result of experiences. This is what's commonly referred to as neuroplasticity. Author and neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett explains these brain changes in terms of tuning and pruning. Tuning is the process involved in strengthening neural connections through learning, whereas pruning is the process of letting go of existing neural connections through unlearning. I find this hard to admit. When I was editing the last 10% of my book, Money Mindsets, I fell out of love on writing about the psychology of money. I wanted to write something on the science of meditation or the psychology of growth mindsets, but I still needed to edit my book word by word. So I let go of this dopamine mindset that I need to enjoy every moment of the process while writing my book. By unlearning this mental model, I was able to write a book that I am extremely proud to share with the world. Here's the lesson. Recognize when something isn't working well for you, and let go of outdated mental models. Sometimes letting go makes space for doing more. The power of not yet. Psychologist Carol Dweck's research on the growth mindset highlights that how we perceive failure influences our outcomes. Inspired by this research, game developers teamed with Stanford University to create Brain Points. While standard mathematical games rewards people for their outcomes, this game focuses on rewarding students for the effort and strategy they put into learning. Rewarding students for their effort rather than the outcomes led to more sustained learning compared to standard mathematical games. When the time came to share my completed book, Money Mindsets, on podcasts, I started getting extremely anxious. I had studied the writing of James Clear and Ryan Holiday in detail, and my writing style was nowhere as polished as some of these authors that I admired. So I had to reframe my expectations that I am not yet as prolific an author as James Clear or Ryan Holiday, but if I keep putting time and effort into building my craft and finding my voice, I may just get there. The most transformative lesson of the growth mindset is gifting yourself or someone else the power of not yet. When you give feedback to someone, reward the effort they put into doing something rather than the intelligence. This is what helps build resilience towards achieving your dreams. We have a tendency to seek answers, but it is often questions that teach us the most. When you are ready, pause and reflect. What small, meaningful rewards can you introduce to stay motivated on the path toward your big life dreams? What mental models are holding you back that need to be unlearned? How can embracing the mindset of not yet inspire you and others around you to keep pursuing their dreams? May these neuroscience lessons serve you well.